Sebastian Vettel, born on 3rd July 1987, is a German racing driver who competed in Formula 1 from 2007 to 2022 for BMW Sauber, Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Ferrari and Aston Martin. Vettel is one of the most successful drivers in Formula 1 history and has won 4 World Drivers' Championship titles. Vettel began karting at the age of 3 and began racing in the kart series in 1995 at the age of 8. He was accepted into the Red Bull Junior team in 1998 and won various titles, such as the Junior Monaco Kart Cup in 2001. Vettel drove for ASL Mucker Motorsport in the 2005 Formula 3 Euro Series. He was placed 5th in the final standings with 63 points and won the Rookie Cup. Vettel was promoted to test driver for BMW Sauber in 2006 and participated in the 2006 Formula 3 Euro Series, finishing as runner-up. He also competed in the 2006 Formula Renault 3.5 Series, where he finished 1st and 2nd at Misano in his first 2 races. In the next round at Spa-Francorchamps, his finger was almost sliced off by flying debris following an accident, and he was expected to be out for several weeks. Nevertheless, he managed to compete in the 2006 Masters of Formula 3 at Zandvoort the following weekend, where he finished in 6th place. Vettel competed in the 2007 Formula Renault 3.5 Series and took the first win at the Nürburgring, and he led the championship when he was called up permanently by the BMW Sauber Formula 1 team. Vettel started his Formula 1 career as a test driver for BMW Sauber in 2006, making 1 racing appearance in 2007. Vettel appeared for Toro Rosso later that year as a full-time driver in 2008, where he won the Italian Grand Prix. Vettel was promoted to Red Bull in 2009. With Red Bull, Vettel won 4 consecutive titles, the first of which made him the sport's youngest F1 world champion. Vettel signed for Ferrari in 2015, replacing Fernando Alonso. He parted ways with Ferrari at the end of the 2020 season to race with Aston Martin for the 2021 and 2022 seasons, before retiring from Formula 1 at the end of the 2022 season. Sebastian Vettel raced with number 5, except in the 2014 season, when he used number 1. Vettel is 4-time world champion, scoring 3,098 points, 57 pole positions, 122 podiums and 38 fast laps in 300 F1 entries. He will be remembered as one of the best to compete in F1. 2007 BMW and Toro Rosso. Vettel was confirmed as BMW's test driver for 2007, following Kubica's crash at the 2007 Canadian Grand Prix. Vettel was named his replacement at the 2007 United States Grand Prix. He started in 7th position and finished in 8th, to become the then youngest driver to score a point in Formula 1. BMW released him in July 2007 to join Red Bull's Scuderia Toro Rosso. Vettel finished a career best 4th at the Chinese Grand Prix, having started 17th on the grid, while in mixed conditions. Sebastian participated in 8 races, scoring only 6 points, and he finished 14th on the driver standings. 2008 Toro Rosso. After 4 races of the 2008 season, Vettel was the only driver to have failed to finish a single race, having retired on the first lap in 3 of them. At the Monaco Grand Prix, Vettel scored his first points of the season with a 5th place finish after qualifying 17th. At the wet Italian Grand Prix, Vettel became the youngest driver in history to win a Formula 1 Grand Prix, aged 21 years and 74 days. Earlier in the weekend, he had already become the youngest pole sitter. Sebastian participated in 18 races, putting in 1 pole position, 1 race win, 1 podium and 35 points to his name, and finished 8th in the driver standings. Vettel was named 2008 Rookie of the Year. 2009 to 2014 Red Bull. At the start of the 2009 season, Vettel reprised the retired David Coulthard at Red Bull Racing. He went on to take the pole position and a race win at the Chinese Grand Prix, Red Bull's first maiden pole win. Further wins followed in Great Britain, Japan and Abu Dhabi. He won the Japanese Grand Prix from the pole position, leading every lap. Vettel also won the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the first ever day-night race, to finish 2nd in the World Drivers' Championship standings behind Jenson Button. Vettel took the first pole position of the 2010 season at the Bahrain Grand Prix. He led most of the race, but as a result of failure, Vettel finished in 4th place. He took his first win of the season in Malaysia. In Monaco, Vettel made it a Red Bull 1-2, with him 2nd and Webber 1st. At the British Grand Prix, both Vettel and Webber's cars were fitted with a new front wing design, Vettel's wing was damaged in the third practice session, and Webber's sole surviving example was removed and given to his teammate. Vettel went into the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi with a 15-point deficit to Alonso and a 7-point gap to Webber. He won the Grand Prix from pole to become the youngest World Drivers' Champion.
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion!
Vettel kept dominating with his Red Bull in 2011 too, putting on his name 11 wins, 15 pole positions, 3 fastest laps, and 17 podiums to become two-time world champion, scoring 3,392 points. He broke the record for the most pole positions in a season at the season finale in Brazil, after he clinched his 15th pole of the year. In 2012, Vettel had his ups and downs, following issues, penalties, and crashes. Vettel started the 2012 season with second place at Austrian Grand Prix, before he finished outside the points in Malaysia, following a collision with backmarker Narain Karthikeyan. Vettel crossed the line in the first place at Bahrain Grand Prix, to go top of the championship standings. 3 races without the podium place followed before he retired to the European Grand Prix, after an alternator failure, dropping him to 4th in the standings. In Germany, Vettel finished second behind Alonso, but received a 12-second time penalty after the race, and Vettel dropped back to 5th. He started the race in Brazil with a 13-point caution against Alonso. On the opening lap, Vettel spun after an incident with Bruno Senna. Following changing weather conditions, Vettel climbed up to finish in 6th place, to win the championship by 3 points and become the youngest ever triple world champion.
You're the world champion! You're the triple world champion, Sebastian Vettel!
Vettel started the first 2 races of the 2013 season on pole position, and at the Malaysian Grand Prix, he lapped over 2.5 seconds faster than teammate Webber in qualifying. During a wet session, he won the race, ignored the team orders, and passed Webber for the lead. Following wins in Bahrain and Canada, his championship lead was cut at the British Grand Prix, as he was denied a likely win due to gearbox failure. Vettel bounced back to win his home race in Germany for the first time. After he finished 3rd in Hungary, Vettel won the last 9 races of the season, including Grand Slams in Singapore and Korea. Vettel set the record for most consecutive race wins with 9.
Sebastian Vettel is the 2013 world champion!
14th season and beyond, drivers picked a unique car number to use, and Vettel chose the number 5. However, as the reigning World Driver Champion, he carried number 1 through the season. Vettel struggled with reliability issues and through the winter testing, which forced him to retire at the opening Australian Grand Prix. Reliability problems also forced Vettel to retire at Monaco and Austrian Grand Prix. Vettel qualified on the front row for the race in Malaysia, Great Britain and Hungary, and finished on the podium in Malaysia, Canada, Singapore and Japan. After the Russian Grand Prix, he had been out-qualified by a teammate over a season, for the first time in his Formula 1 career. He signed off the year by becoming the first defending champion to fail to win a race during a season, since Jacques Villeneuve in 1998. In October, Red Bull announced that Vettel would be leaving the team at the end of the season to join Scuderia Ferrari. Ferrari 2015-2020. Vettel made his Ferrari debut by finishing 3rd in the Australian Grand Prix. He followed that up by winning the Malaysian Grand Prix. After the race, an emotional Vettel paid tribute to Schumacher, saying that his hero's achievements with Ferrari made the first win all the more special. At the halfway point of the season, Vettel was 42 points behind the championship leader Hamilton. He then took his first pole with the team at the Singapore Grand Prix, Ferrari's first pole in 3 years. Vettel went on to win the race, and with Hamilton retiring, he closed to within 49 points, with 7 races remaining. Vettel ended the season in 3rd place with 3 wins and 13 podiums. After a 3rd place finish at the 2016 Australian Grand Prix, Vettel's participation in Bahrain ended without starting as his car broke down on the formation lap. Although he achieved 7 podium finishes during the season, Vettel did not win any race in 2016. His 3rd season at Ferrari started with a victory in Australia.
Sebastian Vettel starts off 2017 by winning the Australian Grand Prix.
His first in 18 months. The early form continued the following races, winning in Bahrain and Monaco, and finishing 2nd in China, Russia and Spain. In Russia, Vettel took his first pole position in 18 months, and with Raikkonen. Alongside him, Ferrari had their first front row lock out since the 2008 French Grand Prix. Vettel's championship lead was cut to only a single point in Great Britain, as he suffered a puncture on the penultimate lap and dropped to 7th place. In Mexico, Vettel became the fourth driver in Formula One history to claim 50 pole positions. Verstappen took the lead from Vettel at the start, before Vettel collided with Hamilton, after which Hamilton won his fourth title. The 2018 season was dubbed the Fight for Five by the media, as for the first time in Formula One history, two quadruple world champions lined up at the start of a season. For the second consecutive year, Vettel began the season with victory in Australia. For the first time since 2013, Vettel took 3 consecutive pole positions, as he qualified in first place in Azerbaijan. Vettel led his home race until he slid off the track and hit the wall in the later stages, as rain started to fall. By many people's opinion, his championship hope ended there. After showing impressive pace through pre-season testing in Barcelona, Vettel and his new teammate Charles Leclerc headed to Australia with many pundits, believing they had the car to beat for the 2019 season. Vettel took pole position in Canada, the first pole in 17 races. Vettel crossed the line in first place but lost his victory as a result of penalty. After the race, he swapped the number 1 and 2 signs in front of Hamilton's Mercedes. After running in third at the Brazilian Grand Prix, a safety car allowed Alexander Albon and Leclerc to overtake him. He tried to pass his teammate immediately, but the two Ferraris collided, resulting in another retirement for Vettel. He finished 5th in the World Drivers' Championship. Ferrari later announced they would not extend Vettel's contract beyond the 2020 season. Aston Martin, 2021-2022. In his debut race weekend in Bahrain, he received a grid penalty in qualifying, forcing him to start last. In the 5th race of the season, Vettel scored his first points for the team, with a 5th place finish in Monaco. In the following race, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, he claimed Aston Martin's first podium, with a 2nd place finish. Vettel also finished 2nd in Hungary, but was later disqualified after his car failed to provide the 1-liter sample of fuel required. He ended the season in 12th place in the driver's standings, ahead of his teammate Stroll. During the season, Vettel made 132 overtakes, the most for any driver, and won the inaugural Overtake Award. Vettel missed the first 2 races of the 2022 season after being tested positive for COVID-19, and he was substituted by Aston Martin's reserve driver, Nico Hülkenberg. In July 2022, Vettel announced his retirement from Formula One at the end of the 2022 season, in which he finished 12th in the driver's standings.
Oh, grazie ragazzi.